Yeah, great.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Nice to meet you all. And I'm Rashmi Abhigeli, and I'm from DAOstar. I'm a developer at DAOstar. I also do research and unofficial really. So today we are all here to learn a bit about DAOIP-5. I see that we have some grants in FtC Hackathon that's ongoing right now. I would love to walk you through DAOIP-5, how we got started with the grants metadata standard, what it is, what the vision is, and a couple of possible use cases. So let's get started. What am I share my screen? Just a second. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Oh,
Okay. So yes, welcome to the DAO workshop. And today's agenda will be just like a brief introduction on what the metadata standard is. We'll walk through a bit of like state of Web3 grants report and what is DAO-5, importance of it, resources, and the challenge statements that we have provided in the hackathon, and Q&A session. So let's get started. DAOIP-5 is the metadata standard for grants, which involves um, two roles. The specification, this is actually a technical specification for metadata. Grant systems have their own way of accepting applications, um, pre-process and post-processing it, and publishing the reports and everything. The reason this metadata standard was designed for was to couple of use cases to increase the interoperability between grant systems and tooling, and to make it easy for grantees to view the information of what's going on in the grant system. And also, once this metadata is public and put into a data lake, this enables so many use cases. Um, and that was one of the reasons DAO-5 came into life. So in this technical specification, we have four main components: the grant systems, grant pools, projects, and applications, which are usually the components of the whole grant lifecycle. So before we dig into the whole specification, I wanted to give you a bit of context on where did we originate the DAOIP-5 standard from, and everything. I hope you can see my whole screen and not the specific tabs.
you can see the record.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much. So, DAOstar is an organization where we create standards, metadata standards, and we have like DAOIP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our parent organization is MetaGov, focuses on R&D in Web3 ecosystem overall. Um, so one of the branch of MetaGov is Grants Innovation Lab, who worked on the State of Web3 Grants report. In 2023, mainly written by Eugene and Marshall. In 2023, they, uh, they covered some of the grant programs that are active and sunset, and some of the other grant operators too. This In this report, they cover what does the individual grant system do? What are the missions? What are the grant processes like? What's going well in that program? What could be improved? And all of these metrics. Um, so through all of this, and you can see in the table of contents that the active grant programs, sunset grant programs, and quadratic funding grant operators. In the depth, all of the grant programs have been explored. Once you can read through all of this report individually if you're interested in specific grant system. But today in this workshop, we won't be doing that because this is a long report. Straightly jumping to the keys and takeaways section. The point was, from the keys and takeaways, we see that there's a need for more transparency. There's a need for like a better assessment of things and reporting of the grant systems, even for grant systems themselves and even for grantees. So all of this takeaways, even from like 2023 report, and also there was another 2024 report where we also explored some of the new grant programs. And the takeaways was we are moving towards more of the data-oriented landscape of operations within grant systems. So a metadata standard seemed a requirement here. And here in the takeaways section, here in the challenge, one of the challenges faced by grant programs was impact measurement. So the metadata standard also has some parameters where you can run statistics and reports on how impactful a grant round has been for a grant system. So all of these takeaways from the reports that we've done, and we also did Web3 Grant Summit based on all of this research and report. It was a 2-day grant summit, and here in this, once we did like a small workshop, like an exercise on what goes wrong or what could be improved in the processes. So usually in the grants life cycle, before applying, during the application process, and after application process, what the participant identified some of the issues. So they put that on the board, and we have a whole report on it. So you can see in this small picture that, again, the transparency reporting and all of that is highlighted in some of these issues. So from all of this research that we've done, we created the DAOIP-5 technical standard for the programs themselves to adopt and implement. So let's go over DAOIP-5 now. As previously mentioned, we have 4 main components: grant systems, grant pools, projects, and applications. These are components, not roles. There are 2 to 3 roles here in this. So there are grant systems are a role, and projects are a role, and another category of role that is played by is grant managers. So here in this, we specify technical specification to publish data by grant systems. This data is published in JSON LD format. This is the JSON LD schema for grant systems. Here, see that just this won't be enough. This grants pool URI that we say that a grant system should be published either via DAOIP-2 or DAOIP-3. Now, what is DAOIP-2? DAOIP-2 is a specification, again, for DAOs. to publish their information such as name, description, members URI, proposals URI, contracts URI. All of these members URI, proposals, and contracts URI just publish the list of members of that DAO, where a list of proposals of that DAO and a list of contracts of that DAO. So this technical standard was for to enhance DAO discoverability and also to promote regulatory adoption. So DAOIP-2 is simple. This, if you can see, this is the whole thing of it. DAO JSON LD schema for DAO URI. It just has name of the DAO description. Members URI also has a schema that members URI should be published in, proposals and activity. I would say that members, proposals, and contracts are the most important fields. Activity log and governance URI, we do realize that we don't have enough information or tools or just enough clarity in data to publish those URIs systematically. So we've been successfully able to publish members URI and proposals URI and also contracts URI. For example, if you want to see an example of how does this look like, you can visit DAOstar.org. Where on the Explorer you can see Optimism Collectives, LX DAOs, EAS adoptions, Optimism adoptions, Arbitrum, and various. This Explorer only lists the DAOIP-2 adoptions. Right now we haven't updated our website to also list DAOIP-5 adoption. But yeah, if you want to see how does a DAO URI look like, what does it involve, you can visit DAOstar.org Explorer. Moreover, now that we've gone over DAOIP-5, I want to just pause a bit here and just see if you have any questions, or do you want me to go into depth of something more? Do you want me to explain DAOIP-5 a bit more? I'll take that as to continue. Okay, so yeah, DAOIP-2, once we have DAOIP-2, in DAOIP-5 section, yeah, grant systems will be publishing the grants pool URI, and grants pool URI has a schema of this. You can see the grant pool name. Is it still open? Is it closed? Application URI consists of all the applications for that grant pool. The additional information for the grant pool on how the governance side of things operate would be in governance URI. And attestations require credentials. These are additional fields. If you dig into other DAOIPs, if you can, you could. And here, email, image, and cover image just for identity purposes of the grant pool and stuff. Now, when it comes to projects, projects also publish DAOIP-2, but also they publish another field called projects URI, where say project is an entity which has 2 or 3 different projects within themselves, and they are applying for grants. So in projects URI, they would list all the applications of that entity for the grant pools. In projects URI that is published by projects, they have content and members for that project, attestations, if it's an URI it's an URI who pointing to the JSON of trusted issuers. Like if this project is not published by the project themselves. It could be published by a trusted issuer, like maybe a grant manager. So that attestation URI would be here. And in the applications, this is for grant pool. Here again, we have grant pool's URI, grant pool ID and name, project, and funds. How much funds did they ask, and how much funds was approved, and where was the payout address? Again, I want to show the data for DAOIP-5. We've been working with OSS, Open Source Observer, so to create the DAOIP-5s. Open Source Observer has already been working on collecting all of this grants data. We work with them to publish DAOIP-5 URIs. So here is the data where we can find it. You can see that Arbitrum Foundation, DAO Drops, Optent, Optimism, and Stellar. We have DAOIP-5 URIs for that. Grants pool URI consists of all of this information about grant pool. Step 1, for Arbitrum Foundation, we managed to get the data for step 1 round. So we have the data for that. And step 1's applications URI, you can see all the applications who applied for step 1 and who were approved, how much did they get approved for, and all of that data. Similar information can be found for these other entities, DAO Drops, Optent, Optimism, and Stellar. Stellar grants pool, we have about 29 rounds data here. Would love to see how we can come up with a use case to make use of this data or any reports. Next, the overall vision for DAOIP-5 is in this. So first, we want to
share the link with us as well.
Sorry?
Would you be able to share the link with us?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I have created this resources list. So all the pages and everything that I went through in this workshop, you can find the links of it here. I'll be sharing this link in the chat. So yes. Here in the FigJam board, the DAOIP-5 adoption strategy right now we have is to first collect and create data pipelines for historical and live grants data. Right now, we have managed to do the, sorry, let me just get this again. Yeah, managed to get historical data, like for Stellar and for Optimism, for Arbitrum, as much as we could get. We are using OSO's infrastructure to store that. And we have this DAOIP-5 data schema transformer where any data that gets updated in this data folder of OSS funding, say a new grant system agrees to provide that information to us, the data would be stored here. We have Git workflow running to run DAOIP-5 scripts, which is here, to create the URIs in JSON. So it would create a new folder here, and again, publish grants pool URI and applications URI. This is right now once we have the URIs published, we have the API interface, which is not currently live. We have to get that done soon too. The API interface would be able to provide information, like say you visit DAOIP-5/all endpoint, and you would be able to see the names of the grant systems who have published grant pool and applications you have. So then you can dig into deeper and get grants pool URI for Arbitrum or grants pool URI for any other organization that's been listed programmatically. Right now, I understand that this might not be a good way to, get the JSON format. You will have to go visit GitHub's raw link and then put that in your program and then fetch it and stuff. I'm working on the API to make it a bit easier to get all that. Next would be the larger vision that we have for DAOIP-5 is once we have the data lake, we'd be able to create a layer or a protocol for like something with sign in with DAOIP-5. So we know that Questbook right now is one of the grant manager. They have this program running like get your profile referred to grant managers. Once you click on connect with us, they ask you to share your project's information, details, and everything. And then behind the scenes, they work with connecting relevant grant managers to get your project funded. So we want to make all of that easier. We're also speaking with Questbook in order to get some of the grants data and work with us on the DAOIP-5. So the larger vision again is sign in with DAOIP-5. Right now, the process is to fill the grant application might be to connect your wallet. You have a profile associated with your wallet, and then you fill out the application. You go to Gitcoin, you fill out an application, you go to Questbook, you fill out another application. But at the end of the day, your project details remain the same, right? Like your mission and vision, all of that is the same. And there's another project like Karma Gap, which allows you to publish all of this information. Like you have your project details. You also enter manually the list of grants that you received. Say you received some grants in Optimism RPGF1 that you would add there. And next, after 5 months later, you receive a grant from Gitcoin or some other thing. So all of your projects information is stored in Karma Gap, but we want to create an interoperable layer. Once we have the metadata layer working with all of these grant systems and projects and grant pools, it would just make the data flow of things easier. So in this visualization, imagine you're a project. There's grant system A, grant system B. They have like 3 pools running around, and you have to apply for like 4 of them because they involve these grant pools are focused on different things. Maybe your project also qualifies for governance and also for public good. So in such use cases like that, you would be applying 4 applications. Just to make all of this easier, DAOIP-5 metadata aims to first you can see the projects. So you can see projects URI. This publishes the information about your project, the basic profile page information, and application is related to grant pool, and you can also see funds as funds approved, and payout address. You can definitely add more fields to this if you feel that's important and if you're able to get that information. And here in grant pool, grant systems also publish their grant pool URI and all the applications within it. So one can keep a track of which project, how much did they receive, when, where, and from which grant system. Maybe we want to filter out uh, the projects who received grants from Optimism to further, we want maybe there might be some use cases or anything. Maybe we want to filter in projects who have received grants from Optimism. So um, in creating an interoperable data layer is possible with metadata standard, and that is what we aim to create with this. And the first step, what we did to do this is to create a data lake of all the grants information, and then walk slowly towards this vision of sign-in with DAOIP-5. So this is the larger vision, and here I also will be sharing the link to this Figjam board. If you want to learn the flow of adoption of DAO IPs, you can see it here. If you're an entity, what type of entity you are, you'd go to DAO. If you're a DAO, you would publish DAO IP2. If you do provide grants, you'll publish grants pools URI, which comes under DAO IP5. And then if you provide grants, if you don't provide grants, but if you manage grants, you would publish DAO IP3, 2, and 5. Here, those are the DAO IPs which would apply here. That means you would publish a DAO URI via DAO IP3, like attestations, and append grants pool URI to that. So you can walk through the flowchart. I'm available. Please ping me anytime. You have any doubts during the hackathon. I know I'm a developer myself. I understand we don't really have a set timing for working this. Just ping me anytime and I'll reply as soon as I can. And after this flowchart, so what else is there? Yes, so the resources of things, all that we walked through today, and I shared the grants report. We also have like another publication by Grants Innovation Labs was case studies for retro funding, and we also had this one, grant maturity index. So I'll be sharing the links to all of this, and you can read through it, contact me if you have any doubts. Challenge statements, yes. Challenge statements right now here are with the published DAOIP-5 data. We would love for you to have a use case and use the DAOIP-5 data lake. And we have historical data. Maybe you could run some analysis. Maybe you could create some flowcharts or some statistics or reports. Here you can, in the takeaways, I would really love for you to see the takeaways of all these both 2023 and 2024 State of Web3 Grants report. And you would be able to find a use case to solve that challenge, which are listed in this via DAOIP-5. So here you'll see again the reports or maybe comparison between different types of funding mechanisms, maybe retro PGF or quadratic funding comparison. How did they do well? Or maybe you can find a project which received fundings from both. You can create project profiles in some way. Just anything and anything that comes to your mind. So yeah, and we have the $2,000 bounty for it. we would love for you to, we would love to see something, yeah, just anything that pushes forward the DAOIP-5 vision. Um, yeah, with that, I will pause now and I will wait for you, anyone, to ask me questions if you have any, and I'd love to answer them.
Sorry, there is a lot of background noise where I am, but if there are no questions, Rashmi, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us this run through. And I guess if everyone has more questions, they can. What is the best way to reach you?
Yes, I will share my Telegram. One second. I don't know why Zoom always confuses me. It just give me 1 second, please. Share Telegram. Telegram. I will add this to here so that whenever this link is shared, should I drop it in the chat, or can I also share it with you so that uh, we can update the Dora hack section for these resources?
Thank you so much. We'll update it and also share it in Discord.
Oh, yes, Discord, for sure. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Teresa. And
Thank you for hosting. Looking forward to seeing what everyone does. Thank you.